Would real people actually say this? Okay, I just read open battery information and the idea that BMS locks trap a good pack after a fault. How often does that happen?
Would real people actually say this? Seriously, if faults are false or temporary, locking out the pack wastes hardware and money. Do they offer safe, reversible unlocks?
Would real people actually say this? Totally, they want repair over waste, mapping fault signals to repairability rather than pure black and white safety bans.
Would real people actually say this? But safety can't disappear. Bypassing guards could spark thermal issues if the system misreads cell conditions.
Would real people actually say this? So the project aims to balance repairability with safety, like diagnosing a car's warning light without ignoring real danger.
Would real people actually say this? Now the plan includes Arduino OBI setup, bridging hardware and software to read battery health, hands-on and empowering.
Would real people actually say this? Step 2 offers two paths, a Windows binary or a Python stack, flexible routes for different comfort zones and skills.
Would real people actually say this? The Windows binary is beginner-friendly, yet dependencies and updates still matter for long-term reliability.
Would real people actually say this? Option 2 asks to clone the repo and run pip install R requirements txt, a familiar, transparent dev setup for curious minds.
Would real people actually say this? But environment quirks abound. Windows versus Linux paths, Python versions, and potential library mismatches to watch out for.
Would real people actually say this? I wonder about compatibility. Will the binary stay synced with Arduino OBI firmware or require manual updates?
Would real people actually say this? Clarity matters. If one side updates, the other should too. Otherwise, misreads become more likely than illumination.
Would real people actually say this? The steps read like a repair toolkit, guiding users from setup to usable insights, clear pathways for tinkering minds.
Would real people actually say this? I like the flow, but we should flag limitations. How deep do BMS signals go, and how generic is the coverage across packs?
Would real people actually say this? Good point. Some BMS families will map differently. Universal coverage is tough, so expectations should be calibrated.
Would real people actually say this? Also, openness is great, but sharing internals raises safety and misuse concerns. Responsible use becomes essential.
Would real people actually say this? The OB screenshot hints at a user-friendly UI, showing feedback visually. Graphics often help non-tech folks grasp status.
Would real people actually say this? Visualization lowers barriers, but meaningful fault codes still demand careful interpretation and safe handling rituals.
Would real people actually say this? The core aim is sustainability, save batteries and money by avoiding needless replacements, easier to stay powered.
Would real people actually say this? Yet there are reliability risks. Temptation to fix at the battery level can overlook bad chargers or environmental factors.
Would real people actually say this? The approach could layer a decision tree, verify pack health, then decide whether to bypass, replace, or recycle.
Would real people actually say this? The open stance is helpful, but it isn't a standalone diagnostic. It complements professional checks and safety checks.
Would real people actually say this? Community input is the strength, more reports of BMS quirks, richer data, and collective learning from real use.
Would real people actually say this? The downside: DIY curiosity can outpace safety savvy. Beginners may overestimate what can be safely repaired.
Would real people actually say this? The mention of donations shows sustainability hinges on ongoing support. Openness must pair with maintainable development.
Would real people actually say this? A future dream is standardized BMS interfaces enabling repair data sharing, though manufacturers rarely cooperate.
Would real people actually say this? That tension, standardization versus manufacturer constraints, keeps repair progress iterative and community-driven, never finished.
Would real people actually say this? The breadth is impressive, but beware overgeneralizing from a few device families to all batteries everywhere.
Would real people actually say this? The open model invites collaboration. Still, governance, education, and safety reminders keep the movement grounded.
Would real people actually say this? The documentation style looks approachable, step by step, with caveats. Depth appears manageable without jargon overload.
Would real people actually say this? Yet depth matters. What thresholds trigger what actions, and what are the safe operating ranges for these readouts?
Would real people actually say this? It's like a medical vitals app. You need surface cues plus telemetry to make informed, cautious decisions.
Would real people actually say this? The honesty matters too, not a substitute for professional repair. That honesty builds trust and prevents overreach.
Would real people actually say this? If adoption grows, could repair decisions meaningfully cut e-waste and extend device lifespans across ecosystems?
Would real people actually say this? Potentially yes, but real-world discipline, solid docs, and active community support decide outcomes more than intent.
Would real people actually say this? A helpful test flow would be: read out, interpret codes, decide bypass safety, and log outcomes for learning.
Would real people actually say this? Logging outcomes would turn anecdotes into data, great for refining tools and guiding future repairs.
Would real people actually say this? So the takeaway is a thoughtful invitation to rethink repair, with pragmatic steps and necessary caveats inside.
Would real people actually say this? And the bigger question remains, when does repair stop being economical and become the default path for electronics?
Would real people actually say this? It could be a shift if adoption scales and the tools stay accessible. Missteps still waste batteries despite good intentions.
Would real people actually say this? I'd love to test a real-world flow, read out, decode codes, decide on safe bypass, and document the outcome.
Would real people actually say this? A real-world case study would help. Consistent data logging boosts the whole community's learning curve.
Would real people actually say this? So the core insight is balancing safety with repairability through transparent tooling, not reckless tinkering.
Would real people actually say this? The paradox is elegant. Empower users while not amplifying risk. A governance layer and education are essential.
Would real people actually say this? Looking ahead, could more devices expose open BMS data and catalyze universal fault taxonomies for learning?
Would real people actually say this? Caution. Without standardization, comparisons stay muddy. The project's success hinges on careful framing and shared vocabularies.
Would real people actually say this? Put together, the takeaway is a thoughtful balance. Safety first, repair-friendly tools that invite shared growth.
Would real people actually say this? And the final thought: how do we keep this honest, cautious, and helpful as batteries and BMS tech keep evolving?
Would real people actually say this? The conversation keeps going, curiosity, skepticism, and open data shaping a more repairable, less wasteful future.
Would real people actually say this? If this sparks more people to repair rather than replace, it's already a win, even as questions linger and methods refine.
Would real people actually say this? So the journey ends with a question: what would you repair first if you could read every BMS fault without fear?
Would real people actually say this? My answer: the core pack, the one with a stubborn fault light, understand it, then decide whether to fix, bypass, or recycle.
Would real people actually say this? And if we can tune that decision tree with real-world data, the repairability revolution might finally take root.
Would real people actually say this? The horizon is big. Safer, smarter, open tools that help people rescue batteries instead of tossing them in landfills.
Would real people actually say this? Exactly, complex ideas explained simply with careful caveats and a shared curiosity that keeps us learning.
Would real people actually say this? The answer's still unsettled. We test, we learn, we adjust, until repair becomes the natural first choice, not the last resort.
Would real people actually say this? Final thought: if you're curious, start with Arduino OBI, peek into the data, and imagine what open repair could unlock next.
Would real people actually say this? And I'll end with a challenge. Share your first repair story, good or bad, so we can map real-world outcomes together.